Please get ready for a dictation of transcription number 364 and 365 from Sir Kailash Chandra magazine. 5 seconds. Start. Mr. Deputy Chairman, I would like to welcome the bill which has been introduced by our eminent leader, Shri Pant, who has suggested that it should go to a joint select committee. I would particularly like to welcome the proposals regarding the removal of the ban on practice by High Court judges after retirement. The present position is that there is an absolute ban on their practice, and the result is that courts are finding it increasingly difficult to get a suitable class of lawyers to accept seats on the benches of the courts. It is necessary. It is vital for the preservation of democracy in this country, for the preservation of human freedom, and for the protection of the average citizen in this country that our high courts should continue to have the confidence, the respect, and the esteem of the people. But if, as a result of existing provisions, the quality of our courts goes down, the quality of our democracy will suffer. It is a tribute to the patriotism of our bars that so far there has been no deterioration in the quality of our recruitment to the benches. Members of the bar who are enjoying good practice have considered it in most cases a patriotic duty to accept a judgeship when that has been offered to them. But after all, a man has to think of his future, and the position is that a member of the bar, when he is offered a judgeship, does not know what he will have to do with himself after he attains the age of 62. He is demoralizing to see retired High Court judges seeking re-employment after their retirement. The foundation of judicial independence in England or in any other democratic country for that matter is the life tenure of judges. It is not suggested that we can have a life tenure in this country. It may be that there was a case for a higher age limit when the Constitution was being framed. But we know that we people age quickly in our country. It will not be possible to have a life tenure. The foundation of the independence of the judiciary is that once a judge is appointed in Britain, he does not get any increment in his salary even when he is promoted to a court of appeal. He does not get any financial preferment. Now, I should like to say a few words about the provisions regarding additional or temporary judges. The present provisions regarding ad hoc judges are very unsatisfactory. Our courts are in huge areas. In the court with which I was associated for more than 7 years, we had, I believe, over 25,000 cases in area. Now, these areas are largely a legacy of the past, and I can tell you that with all the speed that judges may possess, it is not possible for them, with the existing number of judges, to cope with the amount of work in our courts. Criminal work has increased. Writ work has increased. Other classes of work have also increased. It is necessary to have additional judges for the disposal of areas. These areas, I hope, represent a temporary situation, but I cannot be sure of this. I do not think they represent a permanent phenomenon. Once these areas have been cleared off, it will be possible for us to fix or determine the permanent strength of our courts with some degree of assurance. I am therefore glad that advantage is being taken now that the Constitution is being amended to provide for the appointment of additional judges. There were some legal doubts about what an ad hoc judge could or could not do, and it was therefore necessary that provisions for additional judges should be included in the amending bill. I hope that in appointing additional judges, care will be taken to appoint members of the bar who are not likely to revert to the profession after their term as additional judge is over. That is to say, appoint a man whom you are going to appoint as a permanent man in the initial instance, if you like, as an additional judge and then confirm him as a permanent judge when the permanent vacancy occurs. Another suitable class of persons to be appointed as additional judges are our district judges. If you want a district judge to become ultimately a permanent judge of the High Court, you may appoint him in the initial instance as an additional judge or as a temporary judge. You can also invite retired High Court judges for definite periods to act as additional judges. Particularly, this should be the case when a judge goes on temporary leave or on leave for a few months, for in that case, it may not be desirable to appoint a member of the bar to act in his vacancy, because after the judge comes back to the bar, he gets possible advantage which his colleagues do not possess. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I thank you for giving me time to speak even at this late hour. I am supporting the demands of the Ministry of Food and Civil Supplies. This ministry has the responsibility to provide food to the people all over the country, and I am happy to say that it is discharging this responsibility efficiently. The public distribution system has a great role to play in controlling the prices of essential commodities. This is one of the important items in the Prime Minister's 20-point program. It is the duty of the government to provide food at fair prices to the poor people, and the policy of the government is to open fair price shops in all nooks and corners of the country. I find that the number of fair price shops has steadily gone up over a period of time. For example, in 1979, we had 3 lakh fair price shops, which have increased to 4 lakhs in 1987. 78% of these shops are in the rural areas, which shows the government's concern about the people in the rural areas. But in this context, I want to draw the attention of the government to the complaints that many things are not available in the fair price shops in the rural areas. Therefore, the government must monitor the distribution of the food grains which it supplies. Another point I want to make in this connection is that the government should increase the number of items distributed through the fair price shops. For example, pulses are very essential for nutritious diet. Therefore, pulses should also be distributed through fair price shops. The central government has a scheme to provide financial assistance to the Civil Supplies Corporation in northeastern states, Sikkim, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, etc., for the construction of godowns. There was a demand from Kerala for similar aid, but it has not been considered. Therefore, I would request the Honourable Minister to consider favourably the request from the Kerala Civil Supplies Corporation for assistance to construct godowns in the state. It is one of the most important duties of the Department of Food and Civil Supplies to control the prices of essential commodities. I must say in this context that there has been very heavy price rise in respect of fruits and vegetables throughout the country. The government must take adequate arrangements to sell fruits and vegetables through consumer shops and other outlets. This problem is very acute in cities. Taking advantage of cold storage facilities, the big wholesalers store these items and retail them bit by bit into the market and make huge profit. There is a monitoring cell in the Civil Supplies Department, but more effective steps will have to be taken to control the prices. Now I come to some of the problems of my state, Kerala. The distribution of rice and palm oil is not being done properly in the state. This is causing a lot of problems to the public. This only shows that the state government is not managing the distribution properly. It is not enough that they get supplies. Fair distribution has also to be ensured. That is the duty of the state government, which is not being discharged by that government. However, I take this opportunity to demand that Kerala should be given 2 lakh tons of rice and 10,000 tons of palm oil per month, and adequate quantity of kerosene and sugar should also be supplied. I would also request the government to see whether the food grains and other items supplied by the center are being distributed properly. There is a tendency in the present left front government in Kerala to mismanage the distribution and put the blame on the center. So the central government should be very vigilant about it. Similarly, under the present practice, 50% of the ration is subsidized by the center. I have a suggestion to make in this regard. This subsidized ration should be supplied to them at a time. Otherwise, they are not in a position to buy it, and the shopkeeper will take all the benefits of the subsidy. The public distribution system in Kerala has been widely acclaimed, but the state government is not doing anything to strengthen it. This is evident from the fact that the state government has made only a very small token provision in the budget for the public distribution system. This is politically motivated step because if the public distribution system fails, they can always put the blame on the center. Stop.